If you owned an Xbox or a PlayStation at any point after 2010, chances are you've played a Behemoth game. Or you were playing Super Meat Boy, which would make you like one of 3 people to have done that. But if you did play a Behemoth game, then nostalgia of the epic chase scenes and boss fights in Castle Crashers, or the amazing soundtrack and intro to battleblock theater are ingrained in you. Or this other game Behemoth made, which somehow came out after Castle Crashers. My point is, Behemoth made games that everybody else was afraid to. Bloody, absolutely insane, action-packed gameplay the entire way through. All in their signature art style, which, if you haven't played one of their games, you're probably thinking, that looks a little bit like Among Us. Shut up. And they've kept faithful to this style since their first game, Alien Hominid. We play as a little alien guy, exercising his American right to disintegrate Area 51 employees dressed like Steven Seagal. Now, I didn't play this too much as a kid, but I went back and it's honestly still pretty fun. It's just a nice run and gun game that doesn't take too much focus to play. But just 4 years later, they dropped one of the best hack and slasher games ever made. This is where Michael Myers goes in between lackluster Halloween movies. Behemoth strengthened their art style tenfold and sent us out on an epic and deranged quest to save 4 princesses, with some of the best examples of level design I've seen in a game like this. Every area is a completely unique challenge to face, making you readjust to your surroundings and the enemies in them. Like the first big difficult boss, where my way of readjusting was throwing my controller at the TV screen until I couldn't see him anymore. The combat just lends itself to the gameplay with how simple but effective it is, from crazy weapons with their own special mechanics to your special abilities depending on your character.
Hey, you're finally awake.
Which combined makes some of the most fun combat you'll see in a hack and slash game. It was also just insane, and I don't mean that in like the wow how cool, I mean it in the this guy needs to be put in Arkham Asylum, which depending on your opinion of the Joker could also mean wow how cool. There was a PvP arena where 2 giant cats would chop your ass up if you got too close. There was a weapon shop inside a giant frog with its mouth held open by an anvil. Trolls, instead of looking like this, looked like this. But when you're not tearing apart the Skyrim cosplayers and the furries, you're having a blast following the hilarious story. Now, I don't have any big commentary words to describe it, but it's just that blunt comedy that Behemoth is great at. Like the opening cutscene to battleblock theater, which was...
Boys and girls, ladies, and a gentleman, turn the lights down low and shut your faces as I wrap you in the cozy blanket of a story. A story as heartwarming and soft as a mother's kiss. Or is it? Shh.
Perfect. Battleblock Theater was their first attempt at a platformer as far as I know, and they nailed it. That shit was so fun to play with friends. What if Behemoth's strengths is surprising you with completely out-of-pocket features, and this game is full of that, making the puzzles infinitely more interesting because it was all unique. It also allowed you to be a total asshole to anybody you were playing with by taking them back to World War I with frisbee mines and curb stomping them into comas, just like Mario. But all these things could also be used towards teamwork too, like launching your friend up towards a higher location or using the mines to blow up debris in their way, all while listening to the fire fucking soundtrack in the background. Don't even get me started on the loading screens. Meh. Behemoth's style and creativity just shined out of all their games, standing out among every other game of their genre because they embrace making something completely different, which is why these games are timeless. They transcend console generations and are some of the best at what they do to this day. They also have a new game coming out soon, I think, which I'm super excited for. All right, let me know what you want to see me talk about next, and I'll see you next time. So get out of my room now.